What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in. This is the Crawford Box Recap. I'm one of your hosts, PK, and tonight we've got Sweet B Bones Bryles. Homer Chris, he can't make it tonight, but I know he's gonna. I know he was busy with some Little League baseball stuff, so we're gonna do it without him. But man, what a freaking game! What a game! So before we get into it, Bryles, how's everything, brother?
Going fantastic, man, and you nailed it. What a game, dude. Lance Cy Young McCullers tonight. That's at least what he looked like until he got into the seventh, but we're going to get into that. So go ahead, PK.
Yeah, no, look, it was turn back the clock night at Dyken Park. I mean, like all the way around.
Right?
All the way around, dude. You have LMJ coming out and dealing all night, right? I mean, look, we gave him some shit right before. We heard the interview with LMJ in the offseason where he's come to peace with how his career is going to end, whether it's it's probably going to end in Houston, right? Because his contract's up, and where his career goes from here. I think that added pressure of living up to that contract that he has and finally being at peace with it has probably relieved a lot of the stress and the anxiety of just the pressure of being a starting pitcher, right? And he came out in that first inning and was 2 Ks out of the first 3 batters and without a curveball. Saw a lot of cutters, right? His fastball was in the mid-90s, and it just kind of set the tone for the whole game. It was incredible to watch McCullers go out there and look like McCullers of 2017 tonight.
Yeah, 4 Ks through 2. We talked about it in the spring and the whole offseason. The only thing he worked on was his fastball, and it showed tonight. It literally, he proved all the hard work that he put in. And he looked fantastic. When we saw the rotation when it came out for the Astros and what it was actually going to look like, the 2 question marks I had were Javier and McCullers. And so far, I was completely wrong. Those guys have shown up and shown out. So, I mean, he had a fantastic performance. Like you said, turn back the clock. It literally was vintage McCullers, except better because he had that fastball and got all the way through to the 7th inning tonight. So he's so far got the longest start of any of the starters, and he is our number 5 in the rotation, folks. So just like PK was saying, if he thinks this is going to be his last year, if he keeps pitching this way, it most definitely is not going to be his last year.
Yeah, no, he would, and we're not saying Cy Young, right? I mean, we're jokingly saying Cy Young, but if he, continues to have a really bounce back season, he'll get another contract from somebody else for sure. I think, I was going to say something to your point, but I scrolled and then I forgot. But anyways, we'll get back to it. You had what's his name? Correa at short tonight. Pena had a night off. Paredes was at third. You had your infield of Walker, Altuve, Correa, Paredes, and Yordan. Look, we'll start with the scoring. I mean, Yordan hit
that guy didn't do too bad.
He did not do too bad. He did not. And there's a thing that Wheelhouse, and I think Locked On's on right now, but Wheelhouse made a post earlier tonight that Altuve already has 6 walks in the season, and we are in game 5. He did not get his 6th walk last season until towards the end of May. I want to say May 25th is what the post said, right?
Something like that.
I mean, yeah. He's seeing so many pitches. I mean, tonight he went 4 for 4 tonight. 2 bombs, 2 singles, the walk. He took a ball to the chest from Correa when they were throwing it around the infield. I don't know if you saw that whenever they came out to check on him in between innings.
I was wondering what that was about.
It's because Correa, they were throwing the ball around right after an out.
Around the horn.
And he threw a rocket at Altuve instead of just a lollipop.
Just tossing it to him.
Yeah, dude, just drilled him. But Altuve had a great night, man. I mean, look, he looks so much better at the plate. He's not free swinging like we were accustomed to seeing him doing. And it's really, really paying off so far.
Yeah, no, he looked fantastic. And I cut you off, but Alvarez looked really good tonight too. He hit a bomb Bryce Matthews hit a bomb. We had Altuve with 2. The offense was humming tonight for sure. So, I mean, I don't think everybody got to contribute, but at the same time, didn't matter because, I mean, we had the guys, that were primed up, ready to go, and that we really need down the stretch actually performing tonight. So the fact that we got to see Alvarez do that, turn back the clock, Altuve do that, turn back the clock, and then the young buck, Bryce Matthews, I know I'll say it in Chris's stead, his favorite player, that guy actually hit a huge bomb over to the pump. Oh, dude, it was like 436 feet. It was ridiculous. So, yeah, getting to see those was absolutely awesome. And getting to see this offense up against the Boston Red Sox, as we talked about it, their rotation looks really good. Their bullpen is a little suspect, but it was still better than what I thought the A's were good. I mean, not the A's, the Angels were, and they should going forward still be better than the Angels. But, it didn't really matter tonight. Our guys were locked in and ready to rock.
Yeah, and we talked about this last night, right? When we did our predictions. I mean, Chris, in true Chris fashion, he went Homer Chris, right? He went with the sweep. Me and you went 2-1, right? But what me and you discussed was not being like the Ranger Suarez matchup tonight, right? With LMJ. When we talked about it last night, we both said like Ranger Suarez does not scare us as the pitcher. Like it's a Garrett Crochet game. Not that it scares us, but that's going to be the toughest matchup, right? And so like this lineup, you faced 2 lefties against the Angels over the weekend, and you put up 20 runs, right? Against Kikuchi and against Detmers, right? I mean, not all runs on them, but you kind of see where I'm going, right? Like they put some runs up against lefties, and you had another one coming in, and you did the same thing. You put runs up, right? I mean, I think that Suarez, I guess they're still stretching him out because he only went with 4 1/3, but he gave up 4 runs, and then
he got knocked around too.
Oviedo went 3 2/3, and he gave the other 4, right? So they actually had the same line minus innings pitched, and Suarez gave up 1 more hit. But this lineup can hit lefties. We know that Yordan mashes. It doesn't matter, right? And, like I posted it tonight, like a healthy Yordan is just like a beautiful thing to watch because his single that he hit in the first inning was a rocket on the ground, right? Then his bomb, we saw where the bomb went, like second deck. I mean, it was way up there, right? To touch on the Bryce Matthews thing, he had a play at second base on Trevor Story. So the ball's hit down the left field line. Matthews, obviously, he's playing left, so he's going to his right, fields it, comes up and throws a rocket to second, right? Now, you have to give Trevor Story some credit because his slide is what made him safe because the throw beat him there. But he did the slide where he tucked away his left hand, right, and left his right hand to go to the back of the bag. The point I'm trying to make is like this kid just started playing outfield in the spring, just like we saw with Cam last year, right? You got infielders that are learning outfield positions, and then he comes up and like, I mean, he's an infielder playing outfield, and he has a rocket to second. Again, Story was safe, but it's the athleticism that this kid has. And then he, like you said, man, he hit a bomb, like 111 off the bat. It was a bomb.
It was a missile.
And then Walker later in the game.
That's what I was about to ask you. I know you've got the stats up right now. What was the stat line on Walker? Because I saw him hit a double, if I remember correctly, like in the power alley.
Yeah, so he ended up, that was his only hit. He went 1 for 4, and then he scored. Well, he didn't score, but he plated Correa to give us the 8. I believe he gave us the 8, but he had 2 Ks. So his first few at bats, like, I mean, I think he had like a pop out, and then he had the 2 Ks. But the double that he hit it would have been out. I think they said 25 out of the 30 parks, right?
It was just under the yellow line.
Just under the yellow. But dude, he's been like last year. We saw what he did at home. His lack of hitting at home, right? I mean, we talked about it all season. The inconsistencies of him, and he has come out this season so far in the first 5 games and has been the Christian Walker that we all expected to see when we signed him going into the start of last season.
Yeah, I think him and not only just Christian Walker, because Christian Walker was the guy that I really wanted to see come back. but it's good to see him, McCullers, all these guys, Javier, all these dudes that, we had to just like get in an emergency and like, please God help us last year, to where they were able to take this whole off season and, work on their craft. And now they're coming out, they're ready to go, and they want to prove themselves.
Yeah.
And so far, I mean, we're only on game number 5 and they've looked absolutely fantastic. So, I mean, as an Astros fan, I know, hey, listen, I'll take the blame for the first 2 games. Other than that, it's been absolutely fantastic. So as an Astros fan, you've got to be hyped up right now, moving forward and looking at what we've got through this series and then coming up, after that.
Look, you scored 28 runs in 3 games. Oh, shoot. 28 runs in 3 games, right?
Is that for number 2 in the MLB, if I saw the stat correctly?
Yeah. Yeah. And the walks. That this team. So I think going into tonight, you led. I think you were tied or second place in the league for the most walks as a team. But then on the flip side, your pitchers have given up the most walks or the most runs or something like that. So like it was a weird stat. But like all of everyone, Yiner to a point, like he's still free swinging, right? But like most of the lineup is showing a lot more discipline, right? Like a lot more.
He got at least 1 knock tonight, didn't he? What'd Yonner's line
he went
like?
1 for 3. He had he had a broken bat single, and it scored a run, right? It scored a run. But overall, right? Like overall, the whole lineup's being more patient. Altuve, I think for me, is the biggest one. Like really, I mean, he is just seeing a lot more pitches, right? Like a lot more. I think Chris chimed in. Yeah, see, Chris, he hadn't been able to watch 3 games and they won, so he cannot watch any more games the rest of the season.
And I can't go to anymore.
And Browse can't go. So, look, we're helping the hometown team out. But we're gonna wrap this up here in a few minutes. But like we gotta talk about Correa. Correa playing short tonight. And we said turn back the clock. It was turn back the clock night at the park, right? But Correa is disgusting at shortstop. I mean, I think I sent you guys, and we all saw it if you watched the game. He's playing short. Obviously, he's playing close to second. Ball's hit to his left, and he fields it 360s, throw on a line, gets him out. He ends up in right field. I mean, just a gorgeous, gorgeous play. And like there was a post that I saw where it said, like, look, the majority of major league shortstops will get that ball, but not many of them will be able to make the play to get the out. And that's true. I mean, we got to witness it for all the years that Correa was here before he went to Minnesota. And then later in the game, I think it was in the 7th, you had runners on first and second. LMJ was still pitching, and Contreras hits a rocket to short, and he short hops it. We would have got out of the inning because he would have made the double play, but he bobbled the ball, and we got the force out. But still, the Correa and his glove tonight was magnificent.
Well, and that's the difference. I mean, you saw that, and then, early in the game, I think it was either the 1st or 3rd inning, you saw where Altuve hit that one to Story, and it was like a hot chopper, and, he bobbled it. Altuve ended up being safe because Story, he was able to stop the ball and actually get it over, but his throw was off. So to your point, exactly, you got to remember that Correa is a Gold Glover. And that dude, I'm telling you, just like you said, I mean, he was in like right center, like shallow right center by the time he actually made the throw in the play to still get the runner out. So that's the difference between a Gold Glove shortstop and a guy that's really good that got a contract. That is the difference right there.
That's right, man. Well, look, we're going to get out of here, but, Astros take game 1 of the series against Boston 8-1. Again, I'm going to say it again. It was turn back the clock night at Dyken Park. LMJ coming out, saving your bullpen, right? Ryan Weiss comes in and pitches 2 innings. McCullers' final line is 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, and 9 freaking Ks, dude. 9 Ks.
I will take it.
And it wasn't until the 7th inning that he faced more than the minimum batters in an inning. The previous 6, it was the minimum because the hits that they got, they were doubled up in that same inning. So LMJ, I'm so happy for him, man. I'm so pumped for him. Hopefully this puts him on a trajectory to have a really successful season with us. Astros bats come alive. 8 runs. Tomorrow you're going to have Brian Bello against Hunter Brown tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get the series win tomorrow. We'll be back
Let's do
tomorrow
it.
night. But until then, thank y'all for tuning in. Let me get some music going. Right, hang on before I do my out. There we go. We'll be back tomorrow night after the game. Make sure you check us out. As always, I'm PK. Sweet B Buns Drive. This is the Crawford Chronicles, and you're watching the Crawford Box Recap.
Yes, sir. Hook 'em. Go Stros.